This is Review Your Gear Radio with your hosts Chris Husted and Jason Renner. Coming to you with the latest topics, reviews, and techniques for hunting and fishing in the Midwest. And here they are, Chris and Jason. Take it away, boys.
Hello, Review Gear Radio. I'm Chris Husted.
I'm Jason Renner.
It is Season 4, Episode 16, The Fall is Finally Here edition. Why?
Because it got cold this morning?
Well, last 2 mornings, actually.
Yeah.
Saturday morning here, we had a frost advisory. This morning, it got down to 36. At least I saw.
37 at the house when we left.
Okay. So, yeah, it's been chilly. But before we get in the weather, I got to talk one tidbit of NFL football. Just one tidbit. I don't follow the NFL anymore except for what pops up in my feed on Hatebook. But I saw a lot of people complaining about Christian Watson from the Bison to the Packers. And I did Google it. I Googled Christian Watson drop. Sure enough.
How many hits?
There was a lot of videos, and he had a 75-yarder. I mean, it hit both hands.
Oh, he was so wide open.
I shouldn't laugh because, I want my Bison alum to do well, but ouch. But yeah, it's
well, it wasn't a very good day for your Bison alum today.
No, it really wasn't.
Trey.
Well, Wentz, you said had a good day.
Well, yeah, that's true. Wentz had 4 touchdowns and 350, I think.
Right. I wonder how what's his face did. What's his name? Is playing for the Bengals.
He did, from what I heard, he did well. I mean, They struggled against the. I heard he wasn't the problem on the offense.
Okay. Well, we're not here for sports.
No.
So, or are we? Everyone's a sports analyst nowadays. So, but yeah, colder temps mean things are changing. I've started to see my first few flocks of Canada's pretty high coming over my house.
Yeah, there's definitely groups of northern birds moving down. In fact, my wife said they moved the penguins into the zoo the other day because of the threat of the avian bird flu.
Really?
From migrating waterfowl. So, I mean, they're taking the precaution. I understand that because those are, endangered species, understand that, but they're taking the precaution too. So,
Sure.
So, but she was kind of disappointed she didn't get to see the outdoor exhibit with the penguins. So,
what do you do?
What do you do?
Just Google penguins and show a video. I know it's not the same thing, but
well, yeah, and of course, we have to say it. The pumpkin spice latte is out.
You pulled that last episode.
Oh my God.
And this is going to be another episode I'm going to tell you. I don't care about starch much.
It amazes me, though, that you think that it comes out this early. You think it'd be more of a Thanksgiving type thing.
Yeah, but then again, as we're going to talk in a bit, Shields has had their ice fishing section going up since the first, so.
I think it's up now.
Oh, I'm sure it is by now.
Ice houses and
yep,
yeah, and
I'm not trying to tell them how to do things, but it's just too early. I would say now Thanksgiving's too late because that's when people really it's got to be up by Thanksgiving because that's when it gets cold and people are ready. But I would say right around mid-October.
Yeah, mid-October. I mean, you think because. I don't know, maybe it's a space thing that they're reduced their summer stuff down to the point where they can't fill that spot.
I couldn't tell you. I would think they'd push more fall activities in the front of the store.
Well,
then skip it.
Look at the amount of fall fishing that. I mean, we've discussed this multiple times. How many of your buddies that you talk to fish more?
Oh, tons.
Now because of the way how hard it's getting to hunt.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
I mean,
And to be honest, it's gotten the point where, like even in our early season, I don't know what the numbers are. I could look into that after the season's over and it's released, but we have a lot of out-of-state hunters. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing from a lot of economical standpoints, but it puts a lot of pressure. And there's not that many birds. Like, there's a finite amount of early season Canadas around.
correct.
So it's tough.
Well, you have a few migrators touching in, but not.
I've heard of guys, like, through the grapevine of talking to other waterfowlers that some guys have been here, traveled to all the state, hunted, say, the Jamestown area,
Yeah.
and had mornings where they slept in because they just couldn't get on a field.
Huh.
There's just not too many groups, not enough birds.
Not enough birds.
But lots of bands this year on Canada's. I've noticed a lot of pictures, and a lot of people are getting numerous bands off the early season. So they must have done a lot more banding post-COVID. I'm assuming
research type things.
Yeah.
Those things come through. I think they're trying to get a field for this mid-continent giant Canada population because it's exploded and it's in areas. I mean, how many? I'm going to say city birds do you think are out there?
Oh, there's tons, but here's the interesting thing about it. They become smarter. Like, for example, like a lot of these city birds used to travel to certain areas. This has all been studied through band, recoveries and stuff.
Yeah.
They used to go to traditional areas, say in Illinois and stuff like that, where they get pounded. Well, they just don't go to those areas anymore. They change their routes too. Their migration, they'll winter in different areas with less pressure, flat out, to avoid, if they're getting pounded in an area. Okay. Now, did I ever tell you the story of the goose from eastern Minnesota? Long story short, I know a group of guys that hunted in eastern Minnesota. I won't say the town, but it was northeast of the cities. They shot a group of Canadas on opening weekend, a whole family. A couple got away, all banded. Okay. Long story short, they came out to hunt with us by Jamestown the week later, and lo and behold, we shot a band, and it came from that same family.
Wow.
So that bird flew from eastern Minnesota. After it got shot at, I don't know if it did the same day or when it did, but over the course of a week, it decided to fly from eastern, almost to the Wisconsin border, all the way to Jamestown in North Dakota.
That's kind of cool. I mean, in a way.
It's cool, but it's interesting. It just shows you that, they have wings. They can fly anywhere.
Correct.
So they're, it's, yeah. What are the odds when you think about it? I've heard a lot of cool band stories, but that one I always thought was pretty cool. Canada migrator spreads are becoming kind of a new thing. I know multiple people that are setting up like permanent spreads where, like, on a weekend they'll set up, say, early Saturday morning a spread and rock it all weekend, and they're hunting basically migrators. Canada's coming down.
Really, I've heard of it on the snow goose realm, but I've never heard of it on.
It's a little bit, it's kind of, it's getting cool, and they're coming.
Yeah.
But it takes a dedication, to wait it out and grind it out all day in hopes to see a few flocks. But I've been there for snow geese, never done it for Canadas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But first signs of the migration are starting up north. I've talked to a few outfitters up in Saskatchewan. A lot of Rossies down, not a ton of snows yet. But so it's still too early to really tell on the snow goose hatch. But Rossies, it sounds like, did pretty well.
I've heard from some guys that hunt way up close to the Arctic Circle.
Yep, by the tree line.
The tree line, that there's lots of young birds, but I mean...
And it's early.
and not real scientific in their research. It's what they're shooting.
It's early.
It's very early.
A lot of those birds won't come down for next couple of weeks anyways. So, some years they don't come down until October.
I noticed a decent amount of snow up there.
Oh, really?
On the radar, I don't know. Couldn't sleep last night, so I was busting around the radar looking at the tropics and stuff.
Yeah.
And
so you're obviously bored.
Yeah, I was bored. But I hopped up, and there was up in the Northwest Territories and up north there. There was a little bit of snow up there, Great Slave Lake and that area. There's some snow up there. So
interesting. That might have pushed them down a little bit premature.
Kind of starting early. I mean, and I think what triggered that is I seen there was snow in Glacier Park. You know, they had snow in the upper levels in Glacier Park this past week. So.
Okay. Well, like I said, fall is pretty much here. I mean, not technically, but almost. So the walleyes are moving deep. I'll tell you what, the last few times I've been out in the big lake, pretty much 30 to 60 feet for us.
So here's my one question, because I consider myself a very, very newbie when it comes to fall fishing, because I remember basically once I was done salmon fishing, I didn't touch a rod because
I was honestly the same way.
And so here's my question: you know, the cool temps at night, that colder water on top is going to start sinking, which is hence called turnover. When it flips over, the cold water comes, sinks down, warm water rises to the top, yada yada yada. When does that typically happen in these bigger reservoirs?
You're asking the wrong person, honestly, because like you, historically, when Labor Day weekend started, that was the opening of Canada's, and I hunted waterfall all the way to Christmas.
Yeah.
So I consider myself a newbie in the fall as well. I mean, I've been fishing in a few years, but, you know, I haven't been all about it, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, that makes it fun because it's just another way to learn. The only thing I'm noticing is different patterns. The fish seem to be moving a lot, not mostly horizontal, like as much as vertically. They slide up and down a lot in the fall.
That's the one thing I talked to a buddy of mine that he spearfishes walleyes up in Skakawea. He goes, the walleyes in this time of the year, they seem to be sitting out in 50, 60 feet of water. They'll still go up. You know, he goes, it's surprising the amount of fish that go up in that 25-foot zone. They go up there and feed, but unlike other times in the year, they don't hang out up there. They go up there, feed for a period of time, and then they're back down to the deep.
Right. So, our afternoons have been a heck of a lot better in the mornings, just for a lot of reasons. But the morning's been a little tougher for us right away. It seems like we got to look a lot to get on them because we're searching a lot of structure. We're just not finding them. Afternoon, it's a different story. You know, graph lights up, but it's like they're MI. That's the fun part of it. We're just gonna have to keep fishing, figure it out.
Grind.
Let's have some tales from the Chub Tank.
Tales from the Chub Tank.
I got a phone call coming to the farmer, a landowner, in the next couple of days, and I've got one more in me, baby.
One more trip?
Yeah, one more trip. I think I'm going to do it. I got a wedding on Saturday, but I think Sunday I may get out, and we'll probably have to podcast next Sunday, not to make this a on-air discussion, but because I'll be out fishing the week after. I got work in fishing. So anyways, I'm going to put, me and a couple buddies, I think 3 of us might go up, and so I can run 3 traps. And I think if you get them in the right places, you can get some chubs.
So what's your goal? 60?
If I want to pre-fish with them, I'd like to have 75.
Ooh, he's throwing a big number.
It is, but I'm pretty confident I can get 40 on hook and line.
Yeah.
And so I really just need to give it a good soak and be in the right place. Hopefully 2 of the 3, do pretty well. Historically, this creek has trapped well.
Okay.
Because it has good flow. Really good flow.
Feel me flow.
Hey, the more the flow, the better they trap. Just telling you. So the salmon are on the Chow.
Yeah, it's kind of feeding. There's guys that are pulling some limits. There's a lot of fish being caught. Seeing some good pictures from even down in South Dakota. The weird thing in South Dakota is they start migrating. They do the reverse of North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Because where their spawning ladder is further north. So they kind of start heading back up the reservoir where, Skakawea and Peck, they're kind of going
to the dam.
Because that's where they're released. So it's a little bit of a different situation. Peck's still producing some big fish out there. I haven't heard their depth out there, but it sounds like South Dakota and North Dakota, they're staying deep still. But again, with these colder mornings,
it'll change soon.
You're going to start seeing these fish sneak up shallow. You're starting to see more and more longliners. And, I haven't really talked to any guys that have done well longline, but they're picking off a few here and there. But any day now.
Aren't longliners kind of a pain in the butt when it's crowded?
As long as they stay
in their lane.
They can go shallow. I mean, it's not as big a deal to run a crankbait or even, say, a 4-ounce weight when you're running 35 feet to go into 25 feet of water. And, if you snag up, it's not as hard. You put a downrigger bulb in the 10 feet, I had a buddy a couple weeks ago that, he lost half his spool because he put it into a tree.
Oh.
I mean, it's a little different when you're running around with a cannonball than it is
right
with, and it's not like we don't encourage people to run long lines or dipsy divers or stuff. It's just be aware of the guys with the downriggers, because you put your dipsy divers or your long lines into a downrigger, you're not going to win that battle.
Right. I get it.
But, I mean, like I said, now's the time where you can run downriggers shallow and run, long lines out the side, and you can do multiple things. So
I get it. Well, I do and I don't. I just like the aftermath when you bring over ginger soy salmon.
Must smoked salmon recipe. I went back to the old school recipe.
Did we ever share that on Review Your Gear?
I don't know if we ever did.
I'm putting you on the spot. Are you going to share that?
I will share.
Nice.
I will share.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we share this to social media, pay attention, please. Because if you know anything about lakes at Kakawea, salmon, they're very fishy. You have to... am I wrong? You have to know what you're doing to really make it flavorful.
Well, yeah, you do. I mean, there's some tips and tricks and stuff to make it. I mean, there's some guys that don't know how to, keep. The other thing is, there's some guys out there that are keeping them in the live well and running 70-degree water on them all day instead of throwing them in a cooler. And to me, that's just wrong.
Okay, well, maybe it's just ignorance.
I mean, because when you're thinking about their cold water fish,
yeah,
I like to even bleed mine as soon as I catch them in the live well, bleed them, and then throw them on ice.
Okay, good tip.
I mean, that way, because one, they're kind of bloody
to begin with,
to clean, and when you bleed them out, that just helps, your cleanup. So, the only thing about that is if you forget and you leave that blood in your live well.
Smells good.
Pretty. It's not pretty.
I bet not. But yeah, we'll definitely get that shared because it's amazing. It's good. It's good.
Oh, I know it's good. And this batch I just did, I went back to the recipe I did on the video. I followed that stuff.
That's right. You did do a video on Facebook, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
You snuck in the salmon group.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Let's have a Mille minute.
This is your Relax Minute. September 1st through November 30th. Your possession limit is 1. Only walleye between 20 inches and 23 inches in length or slot may be kept, or 1 over the 26-inch slot. It is illegal to keep 1 fish taco.
1.
1.
This was.
This is your Relax Minute. We apologize to the outfitters that we make fun of this, but hopefully it brings attention to you guys. So you will.
It is a great lake. It is a great lake. I'll give it that. We'll be right back here on Revere Your Gear Radio. And we're back here on Revere Your Gear Radio. So I don't know about you, but I'm not in a whole lot of big game groups because I'm not a big game hunter, but I'm in a few, and wow, I've seen a lot of nice deer taken and a couple nice elk already.
Yeah, there's been a few really big bulls taken that I've seen. That's fun. Usually this time of the year, I kind of like driving up by the ranch.
Yeah.
Just listen to those suckers bugle.
Oh, sure.
That sound just reminds me of fall.
I used to love that with the mountains when I used to go up to Colorado and whatnot. Even in the summer, late summer, early fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
Bugle.
Same thing.
Then I've seen some nice muleys in velvet taken.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's good to see some big muleys being taken. One of our buddies, Timmy, had a close encounter with a pretty nice one. They kind of outsmarted him, but he was trying to get his kid involved. So,
sure.
You know, shout out to Tim. He brings his kids everywhere with him, hunting and fishing. That dude does it right. I give props to Timmy for that.
Good for him. Question.
Yes, sir.
Can you hunt big game anymore without trail cams?
It doesn't seem like it. I mean, even I had a beer with my buddy the other day, and he showed me trail cam stuff of, where he's going to set his daughter for the youth season to shoot a doe. I mean, it's getting to that point where these guys are doing that even for the kids' hunts. I mean, so no, I just think it's I don't know. It's kind of like the whole live scope thing. Is it kind of making it more of a video game than anything? But I mean, it's technology.
Well, the coolest ones, of course, are the ones that send pictures to your cell phone.
Correct. That's what he's showing me.
Right.
He's getting them as we were sitting there. And the only thing that I noticed is he was getting a lot of wasps.
Oh, really?
Because the wasps were just big enough in the sensor to trip it.
I never thought about that, but that would totally make sense.
But no, he's got some deer spotted on his cam, and just seems like everybody's got them now. I mean,
and
they became,
not just one.
Yeah, well, they became affordable.
Hits.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, you can get a kit of 6 of them for $600, where it used to be one of them was $350 a piece.
Right. Yep. No, definitely. So I gotta give a shout out. I did drop in Facebook a picture and a quick shout out to him, but I'll say it again. The Black & Decker people, they have a thing called the Spillbuster.
Okay.
It's a little handheld shampooer.
Okay.
Great for the boat.
Money for the boat?
Well, I mean, I had some pretty bad blood stains, and it came in the carpet. Came right out.
Nice.
Came right out. It even worked on the floor, getting stains off the floor.
The other thing you do, if you're not close to the stain master, put ice on
it. Draw the blood out?
Yep. Because it coagulates. Coagulates. I'm using big words again, I know.
Spell it. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's
have some headlines. So, in an unfortunate incident, why do I always have so many downers? But
Well, we always seem to find these though.
But there's too much of this, and it just makes a guy wonder. A gentleman was hunting in a tree stand where another guy came around the corner, mistook him for a bear, and shot him in the abdomen.
So was the guy in the tree stand?
He was in the tree stand. He was not wearing orange. He was wearing camo. But and that is what the Game and Fish is basically there, is scolding for not using orange.
Yes.
Obviously that would have saved him.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm not downplaying that, but still, how do you mistake a hunter for a bear?
I don't get it. I mean, the first thing you're taught in hunter safety is beware of what you're shooting, your target. Identify it. It's just, as much as I hated some of the guys that taught me how to hunt, that made me identify stuff before I pulled the trigger, I mean, it's paid off. I'm a more aware and smarter hunter, and I don't know.
Right.
Just I don't get it. But there's a lot of guys that have shot vehicles too.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, safety first. Just another reminder.
Exactly.
A man sends for selling fraudulent hunting leases. Guess where I found this article?
Forbes?
The DOJ.
Oh!
The Department of Justice. An Ohio man sends to prison for selling fraudulent hunting leases. A gentleman by the name of Nathan Knox, 30 years old, of Ohio, went on Facebook, sold all these leases for land he didn't have access to. And when people asked him about it, he just sent pictures that he just found on the internet and said, like here's the deer that were taken on the property.
Oh, jeez.
But he received the money through PayPal, Walmart to Walmart, MoneyGram, Western Union, and Venmo. Now, first of all, if you're a legit outfitter, you're not using Walmart to Walmart, MoneyGram, or Western Union. So sometimes you got to wonder to these people, and I'm not really saying there's anything he did that wasn't wrong here. I'm just saying, wow, there's so much, like on Facebook, on a given day, if you're to scroll for, say, 10 minutes, how many scams do you come across your feed?
Oh, all the time.
So it's
all the time.
You got to be on the lookout. If it sounds too good to be true, and the guy is asking weird questions like "send it Western Union."
Well, how many times have you seen Hummingbird Gen 4 12-inch $499.99?
Oh yeah, no, of course.
You said you pay for it, and
right. It sounds so good to be true.
It probably is, but you think with a lease, you'd want to at least see papers before you wire money,
right?
But I suppose you could forge papers too. I mean,
yeah. Well, I would have looked up and done my homework. Just at least Google what's your outfit name. So I'm going to Google it
on X.
Whatever.
I mean,
so once again, this is becoming a repeat thing. I'm giving a shout out to the Michigan DNR. Why? Because they seem to be doing the most I see in the Midwest for getting the people active in the outdoors. They have an outdoors women program offering an archery deer hunting workshop in various counties. So you can show up, and basically it costs us $100. And they do everything for you, even lunch.
Nice.
Lodging, meals, you're set up. So you can learn and truly get involved in.
I think this is just great.
Why? We need to do something like this. Now, when you live states such as the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, etc., Montana, you have so many outdoors people. And you have so many people that it's around them, but they don't know how to get involved. Where do you start? If you don't know someone that's going to take you, this is your option.
I know North Dakota Game and Fish have the Women of the Outdoors. They have a weekend retreat.
They do. Okay. I just never hear about it.
Up in Metagoshi.
Where do they advertise these things?
I think it's right on their website.
So you have to go to their website.
You got to go to the website or see it in, maybe they don't do quite a good enough job of getting out to the general public.
Because I'm here in North Dakota, and here I am all the time seeing information from Michigan. I mean, they're pumping it out to get the public engaged.
I think they're doing a lot of good things and kind of off topic, but not really off topic. Michigan's really pumping fish into Lake Michigan, salmon again.
Oh, really?
They kind of halted their stocking programs a little bit on Chinooks, backed off a little bit, but now they're pumping a ton of them in, and Wisconsin is too. So the future looks bright for the Lake Michigan salmon population. So
you do know I've told you I have a paid for trip out there.
I know.
I just got to make the drive and find the time.
The question is do you drive around or do you ferry across? That ferry's expensive. That USS.
Don't we have to drive through Chicago?
You can drive through Chicago.
I'll take the ferry. So when do you predict freeze up this year, sir? Look in your crystal ball. What date?
Are we talking Sakakawea or are we talking...
No. We're talking like a freeze up on, a general freeze up.
Okay, so I just saw the winter forecast. It's going to be the third El Nino in a row. Yes, I was bored last night.
Truly.
So it's going to be they're supposed to be colder than normal. I'm going to go November 17th.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I think it's going to happen the day before Thanksgiving.
Okay. So November 24th.
Whatever that's going to be, yeah. I just have a feeling it's going to be right around because I'll be running out after Thanksgiving to get out on 4 inches, 3 inches of ice because I'm an idiot like that.
But before we, we're talking about freeze up. I got one more question.
What's that?
I know you got the one more tournament. How many more trips are you going to have in your aircraft?
What, after the tournament?
Yeah.
If the weather's nice, because I do not plan to really get out and hunt much until the snow geese get here. They don't usually get here till right around Halloween, so I'll probably sneak out. Which reminds me, anybody who needs fish, drop me a line. Because I'm going to have a lot of walleye coming up when I do fish because, let's face it, when you're fishing this deep, everything you pull, when you pull up your first 10, 15, however many people are in the boat, you're done.
I'll take a couple packages off you.
I figured you would.
My daughter loves fried fish now.
I think we've hit a block this year where just we didn't eat enough, and we did. The kids, I think I overdid it. Just need to kind of give it a little chill time. And pick up. Although my kids never did get introduced to walleye egg rolls, I really think they'd love those.
The other thing I thought about is the other day I seen somebody was making walleye pot stickers.
Oh yeah, I suppose that could be good too. Yeah.
Just put a little cabbage, some cooked flaked walleye.
I wonder how cream cheese would be with walleye. No, maybe not.
Well,
because cream cheese is good with everything, I thought.
Correct. I'm not going to lie. My mom used to make a walleye pizza recipe. It was baked with some tomato sauce and then mozzarella cheese and then some pepperoni on it. Nice. That wasn't terrible.
Okay. How was the walleye just on top?
No, it was everything else was on top of the walleye. It was baked on, so it was like the walleye was the crust.
Okay. I get you.
And I can't remember, was that where she did her Parmesan cheese crusted walleye and then put that on top? It was probably pretty good.
Nice. Well, we're getting into food talk already, so what's cooking on the stone?
What's cooking on the stone?
Eggs. I got the last dozen. I've been holding on to a dozen fresh chicken eggs from our buddy who raises them. And
what are you going to do all winter?
I'm
You
gonna
gotta
have
go
to.
back to
I'm gonna have to
store-bought.
go back to store bought. I'm not looking forward to it, but I did post it yesterday. I made. Okay, hey, we're gonna talk food since we're talking.
Yeah,
the stone.
I know. Where
Half-pound burger, fried egg, and it was a good wild chicken egg. Pepper jack cheese, obviously melted on it. A good hearty slice of onion, and then topped with bacon.
Of course.
3 slices.
It's like the
Thick slice.
the
Thick
Humpty
cut.
Dumpty burger at JL Beers.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Runny egg?
It was a little. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fried egg. I call it fried because I flip it over for like 3 seconds.
Over
So
easy.
it's not. Yeah.
Over easy.
I know, but I call everything fried. That's
Yeah. Gotta
They-
get your cooking terms up to. Come on.
I know. I just know how to make stuff. Sorry. But yeah, hey, there goes my
There goes
dogs.
dogs.
Why are wild chicken eggs so superior to the store bought?
I think because they're not sitting on a shelf in a refrigerator forever.
Is it really that long before they get to a store?
Correct.
Really?
Just really. In
But they're all white, like wild chickens. Of course, are all colors. It's
yeah.
and when you get wild chicken eggs, you don't have to put them in the fridge.
No, because they're, I can't remember the exact specific terms of what's going on, but they're not controlled in the diet. They're not controlled. They're not in an environment where they can easily pick up salmonella. Farm fresh is.
I wonder if I could raise chickens out here.
You probably could. You know, it's really actually easier to raise than chickens? Quail.
Really?
I've heard quail eggs are just super easy to raise.
We eat at sushi, sir.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, but they're supposed to be just as good, and they're easier, and they're more consistent. They lay through colder temperatures.
Okay. Look at this guy. I'm sitting here trying to find out what over easy means, and you're getting all scientific on me.
Hey, what can I say? I know a few eggheads.
Hey, so why is sushi comfort food for a Norwegian from the Midwest? Seriously, this is a serious question.
Well, one, it's good.
It's healthy.
It's healthy. It's delicious. I just, and there's some people that are your neighbor down the street that thinks it's bait.
Yeah, no, I think most people. Okay, I was the same way, completely ignorant until I had it, and then once I had it, I can't stop.
I think the biggest thing is everybody's intimidated that it's a raw fish.
Yep.
But I mean, if you start slow, work your way from a California roll up into stuff. I mean, I can get my wife to do a California roll or like sweetheart roll.
Yep.
Mango, strawberry,
Yep.
crab.
Yep.
She can do that kind of stuff. I will never get her to do raw fish. I just don't think that'll ever happen. But, I mean, I love it. I simply love it.
My kids love raw salmon, as you know.
Yeah.
My youngest has got to have the California roll, but he tops it with salmon. That's his jam. That's Easton's jam. Brooke, all about salmon sushi, 10 pieces.
The sushi, or did she do it?
Sushi.
Sashimi?
No, she does sushi on the rice.
Okay.
But she likes big, and bless his heart. Like whenever we go in, the sushi chef, I swear he saves the best. Or when she used to come in regularly, Rocky used to
Rocky
save the belly, and she'd get the best cuts. Yeah, she's always been spoiled there. So
the one thing I absolutely love, and this, is octopus.
you do love your octopus.
Love octopus.
I like the texture of it a lot. The chewiness to it.
I think what hooked me was I had really good octopus ceviche in San Diego.
Okay. Ceviche is amazing when done right.
It was a game changer. And ever since then, that's when I really started to eat raw sushi.
Okay. Yeah.
Is through that. And, I don't know. Sushi's great.
I will give a shout out, though, to anyone that is in the Bismarck area or ever. If you come to Bismarck, you have to stop at a restaurant called Shogun's. You have to sit at the sushi bar. By the way, don't do it on Mondays because the head chef's off on Mondays. Don't ask me how I know this. But sit at the sushi bar and order chef's choice, like sushi dinner. If there's 2 people, get what's called the Love Boat for 2. And just let the chef pick.
Yeah,
You'll not be disappointed.
There is a new sushi restaurant coming to Bismarck.
Really?
In Kirkwood Mall.
Really?
So it's all Japanese. It's another Japanese. It's ramen, sushi, and I think hibachi.
Can you imagine that? A Midwest town of around 100,000, and we have 4 sushi restaurants.
Yeah. So
that doesn't include the giant buffets.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be in Kirkwood Mall. So, I mean, I'm curious.
Which means it's going to be expensive. Hey, they got to pay the rent.
Got to pay the rent. I mean, but they've been remodeling. It was the old China buffet.
Oh,
space.
Really? Yep.
So they've been remodeling it for like 6 months. So I'm curious to see how this turns out. It's supposed to open up here end of October.
Really?
Yeah. So
but it's going to be tough to beat what we get.
Oh, I know. And I don't think we plan on leaving our boy.
The key is when you get chef's choice and you get to know the chef, they go that extra mile to dress up every piece of fish.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's not just fish on rice. It's topped with something, and it's just the extra flavor. I could talk about sushi for days, so let's stop. Best gin and vodka, sir.
Ooh, I mean, are we talking?
Okay, let's start with gin.
Okay,
if right now you're going to go to the store and you're going to buy a gin, what are you buying?
Aviator.
Good choice. Good.
I do like Aviator gin. I don't mind Bombay.
Do you know what I got the other day, which was actually old school?
What's that?
Beefeater.
God, it's been a while since I bought Beefeater.
It's not bad.
I don't mind. I never minded, the London-based.
It's kind of the forgotten gin.
Blue Sapphire is good every once in a while too.
Sure.
I mean, get a little dry gin for those martinis. But
how about vodka? I know what you're going to say.
Actually, my favorite vodka is, I don't even know if they make anymore, was Vox.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I remember that. And I don't know if they do. I don't know if I've seen that in a while.
That was my favorite vodka. I am a big Tito's fan.
Austin, Texas.
That's right. But I do like my Tito's. But I used to be a huge Vox fan.
Okay. I don't mind my Tito's either.
It's good vodka. I like the flavored vodkas that are out there.
Nah, I'd rather flavor it myself, but I get it. And if you go to a liquor store, especially a big one, how many flavored vodkas are there?
106.
Times 4. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm not going to lie. I really started Bombshell Betty as a lemon. So they have this lemon vodka, and I've been mixing it with, either Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke. And the Coke, it's like a cheap version of Long Island tea. It's kind of delicious. Because Long Island tea has like a ton of alcohol, and you're mixing all this stuff, and it's just 2 ingredients, and it tastes like a Long Island tea.
Speaking of simple ingredients, I'm going to leave it with this. We talked about this tonight. Do you want to make the best root beer in the world, people?
Ooh.
Have a good vodka. Actually, you know what? Try Vanilla Stoli.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla Stoli, Coke, and Galliano. Galliano is, like I always said, it's the forgotten liqueur, but what is it, French?
Yeah, it's
a weird bottle, but you mix those 3 together. You don't need much Galliano. It's basically a vodka Coke with a hint of Galliano. When you mix it,
tastes like root beer.
Tastes like root beer.
Yeah,
tastes like a smooth. And if you want to get really crazy, add a little cream.
Ooh, getting fancy.
Oh, you darn right.
The Galliano bottles?
Yeah.
We used to make beta fish tanks on those bottles.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say you did something that was not to be spoken about on
No.
radio.
Just fish things.
I'm Chris Husted.
I'm Jason Renner.
And this was Review Your Gear Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to Review Your Gear Radio. Be sure to tune in next episode, and don't forget to check out reviewyourgear.com. Also, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Till next time, tight lines and good times in the outdoors.